There's a fish.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? I am fishing a flare with Mystery Tackle Box here, and I'm with the Mystery Tackle Box Pro, and I'm gonna be using some of these baits to catch Texas spring bass. Should be good, folks. Stay tuned. Hey, what? Why is there a dog? What are you doing, buddy? You can't be here, little guy. I mean, I'll pet you. Okay, yeah, see you, dude. No, stay there, stay. So these baits right here, this is what I'm gonna be working with today. We have a black and purple Z-Man chatterbait. We have a little I am a top water action there. We have a little Perfection Lure stand up football head jig. And we got a little catch go worm there that I've got on a weighted wacky jig head, a little flick shake action. For a trailer on the chatterbait, this is what I'm gonna be using, Cream Lures. It's a little black and purple swim bait that'll match perfectly with that Z-Man. And then lastly, this bait, the Strike Pro. This is a jerk bait. I don't think I'm gonna be throwing this because the water is so dirty, but springtime jerk bait fishing is super fun if you've got some clear water. But today, we got dirty water. I'm gonna start off with the chatterbait, rigging up the swim bait as the trailer. Since I said there's dirty water and it's springtime fishing, one of your best bets is a chatterbait. We're gonna give that a shot. We'll try this thing first, and if not, I'll probably end up flipping that jig around and throwing the top water, some shaded trees over there as well. But we'll start off with the chatterbait. So I've never actually fished this lake, and what I like doing, especially in the spring, but I mean pretty much year round, is I always start with a moving bait. That's just my confidence thing. You know, you go around, because I'd much rather catch fish on a moving bait than a bait that you drag or you know, fish slowly, finesse fishing. So I'm starting off with that Z-Man chatterbait, and I'm basically just gonna make my way around this lake and see what I can make happen. A lot of times these fish are shallow in the spring, so I'm gonna be casting right up against the bank. There's some flooded grass right here, and you cast it up there and just kind of slowly wind it back. I'm using 17-pound fluorocarbon and like I think a mid ratio, like 6:4 to 1 gear ratio reel. And that's what I love covering water with. Even if fish are like pretty much on beds, sometimes a chatterbait will catch those fish. I've had a lot of luck with that. So gonna be throwing this guy around, and then as I kind of come up to different locations, like some shade pockets, I'll be throwing that top water. And then as I come around to some brush, some lay down, some logs, stuff like that, I'll be flipping that jig and throwing the little wacky rig worm in there. And that's the plan today. That's what I'm gonna do until I start getting bites. Basically junk fish. Throw out anything and everything until you start catching fish, and you develop a pattern, and then you stick with that pattern and then catch as many fish as you possibly can. That's the plan. That felt like a bite. Have a little wacky rig. See if he's there. Got him. Yep, got him. It worked, folks. Come here, buddy. Yes. First fish. So I was throwing, I'll explain this in a second once I release this little guy, but that was on the old catch-co worm. And I was rigging it wacky, weighted like that. And look at that, that's the first fish. Not a big one, but I will take it. I fished a little bit around, you know, like I said before, using moving baits to find fish. And that's exactly what I did right there. I'm gonna release this guy, see you, buddy. So what happened there was I was throwing the Z-Man black and purple chatterbait. That's what I've kind of started with. Like I said, I like to cover water in the beginning just to kind of get a feel for the lake. Are these fish active? Are they not? And this color is actually perfect because I'm fishing pretty muddy water, so this stands out great. Great vibration, great color, everything. And I was throwing next to this tree and I felt a hit. And I've been bumping against trees a lot, but this one felt a little bit different. And something just told me, you know, put the chatterbait down for a quick second and grab the wacky rig, because if there is a fish there, if that fish missed the chatterbait, it should come back and eat this. And that's exactly what it did. That is crazy. That's exactly what it did. So, I mean, these fish could be on beds for all I know. I mean, it's springtime in Texas. This guy right here absolutely slays. I mean, year round, but in the spring especially, when you can target fish, when you know exactly where the fish are, they can't resist this little guy here. They will they will straight up munch it. And even in the muddy water, this color, you know, it's kind of like a pink with flake. It's super natural. I mean, you guys might be looking at this thinking it's pretty, you know, not natural color, it's pink. But if you guys have ever seen a night crawler, they do have that pink hue to them. So that they basically just think that's a little worm dangling on the bottom. Boom, first fish, yes. Now, another thing I like to do is see this jig that came in the mystery tackle box here. It's a football head jig, which is generally like an offshore, dragging across rocks and shell beds and stuff like that. But I mean, this thing has a weed guard and it'll come through cover. So something like this, you guys see I've got a nice tree that fell down here. I always, you know, will pick up a little flipping bait of some kind and flip it in here, even though I'm covering water with a chatterbait. And I guess if I get a bite, you know, throw the little finesse worm in there and try to capitalize on it. But then every time you see a piece of cover, every time there's a brush pile, lay down, anything like that, or if you know where a rock pile is, always grab a bottom bait and just kind of flip in there a little bit and pick it apart, because sometimes these fish are not going to be active and chase that chatterbait, kind of like what they've been doing so far today. They just seem to be kind of nipping at it a little bit. But always pick up a flipping bait, throw it in there. You never know if Big Bertha's going to be hanging out in there. Bass love cover, and especially this time of year, they're going to be shallow more likely than not. So don't be afraid to get in the nasty stuff. Get some heavy rod, you know, some heavy braid, cast in there, and sometimes you can get lucky and catch a big old mondo. There's a fish. There's a fish. I got one. I got one. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. That's a good one. Oh, he's got me hung up. He's got me hung up. Oh no. Oh no. I might have to go swimming. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. He's got me hung up on something. Dude, that's a big one. That's a big one. Oh no. This isn't good. This isn't good. That's a good fish. Broke. It broke. It broke. Oh no. Oh, my arm is soaked. I tried. Oh man, I tried. What? That was a good fish. That was like a 3-pounder. Smoked that little flick shake, and just got me wrapped up in some nasty brush stuff, and that was the end of that one. All right. Well, I am re-rigging my little flick shake here. You know, that stuff's gonna happen when you're using especially light line like I am, fishing, you know, real finesse tactics and gear. You're gonna get your heart broken. It's unfortunate, but I mean, it's good because I'm starting to develop a pattern here, and that pattern was, you know, discovered by that chatterbait. That chatterbait is what found the fish. It's kind of my fish finder. But what the fish actually are eating is the flick shake head with the catch go worm on it. That's what they're eating right now. And we're gonna keep on fishing this and see if we can catch some more. So what I haven't talked to you guys a lot about is like the weather conditions. So right now, as you can probably tell, it's a really windy. We have bluebird skies. It's a strong north wind. So before I even leave the house, when I check the weather, I pretty much already know that the fish are not gonna be just crushing baits. I mean, generally, when you have a high pressure system move in like this, you've got bright bluebird skies and high north wind, strong north wind. I mean, that's pretty much stereotypical high pressure front rolling in here. And generally that means, especially in the spring, but I mean year round, it means the fish are gonna be a little bit tougher to catch. So when I came here, you know, throwing the top water on the chatterbait, that was just me, you know, hoping for the best. And I've caught fish in these conditions on those, but day in, day out, most times it's gonna be on something like this. It's gonna be something natural looking, very finesse, like a Ned rig, a shaky head, flick shake, stuff like that. And so far today, that's what's been my success. I've had 2 fish. I've had the small one, and then I actually had that big one. That was like 3.5 pounds or so that broke me off. But this is what's working right now. It's this finesse bait and the high pressure system rolled in. And so now I put down the chatterbait, I put down everything else. I'm sticking with this thing, and I'm just cruising around this lake, throwing at every piece of structure. You guys can see there's some timber in front of me, throwing at every piece of structure I can in hopes that I can just kind of jiggle this a little bit and entice a fish to bite. And the other thing I haven't talked about is how I'm working this bait. So this bait, I usually just throw this thing like a wacky rig, or not a wacky rig, sorry, a shaky head. So for a shaky head, you kind of throw it down, it goes down on the bottom, sits on the bottom, and you just kind of shake your rod tip like that. That's generally how I fish it. This one I do a little bit more hopping with this guy, because you want that little action to actually, you know, move, versus a shaky head just kind of quivers. So this one, you know, I pump a little bit more. But 9 out of 10 times, your bites are gonna come on that initial fall. So you're gonna sit there, you're gonna cast out there, and you're gonna sit there on a slack line, and it's gonna fall down to the bottom, and you're gonna reel up and you're gonna kind of jiggle a little bit and you're gonna feel the thunk, or you're gonna feel them swimming off, your line moving, and then that's your fish. Most times that's how it happens. Sometimes they will eat it once you're working it in, but a lot of times it's gonna be on the initial fall. So when you're casting this thing out there, you let that thing fall down to the bottom, don't move it, just you know, basically be prepared every single cast that there's gonna be a fish on it. And then if there's not, I just sit there and kind of wiggle it, jiggle it, just try to pulse it a little bit and just try to get any fish's attention. And that's what you want to do. You just want to target any piece of structure, any lay down. You will get your heart broken on something like this, like I did today. I mean, that's just what's gonna happen. You're not throwing a big flipping hook. So that's the reality of throwing this thing. But I'm just basically fan casting around this whole area, trying to hit every inch of this little lake here and entice any fish that's nearby. There's one, got him. Come here, little guy, woohoo! Yes, got another fish on the flick shake, folks. Right there. I mean, he's just a little guy, but I mean, I'll take him. Like I said, I'm starting to develop a little bit of a pattern with this worm here. Fish are starting to crunch it. See, buddy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the conclusion of today's Texas Spring pattern video on how to pattern fish in Texas. And just, I mean, this is a nationwide deal. This isn't just a Texas deal. If you take what I gave you today, you should be able to go catch some fish at your local lake, your local pond, your local creek, river, whatever the body of water you guys are fishing. These are the last final notes you guys need to take with you. So this is how I do it. I start off with moving baits. If it's early morning or low light conditions, or evening, I guess, so just low light conditions in general, I throw top water. If it's already sunny, I throw moving baits, like a chatterbait, like a buzz bait. I guess not really buzz bait, that would be more low light, but sometimes that can work in sunny. Spinner baits, swim jigs, crank baits, stuff like that. If it's grassy, stick with the chatterbait. If it's got rocks, I'd throw a square bill. And then use that, use that for a little bit, use it for an hour or so, and if you're not getting anything, then you need to make a change. And as you're going around with those chatterbaits, make sure you're flipping and pitching, whether it's a jig or whether it's a flick shake, every little piece of cover, every little branch, every lay down, every rock pile, every stump, make sure you're throwing something against that other than your moving bait. And then just keep doing that, and if that still doesn't work, that's when you pick up something like the flick shake, something finesse, something finicky. The bass a lot of times are going to be lock-jawed in the spring. It totally just depends on the weather, and today that's exactly what happened. The fish were pretty much lock-jaw on everything but the flick shake worm. That's what I've got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys can take something from this video. I'm fishing with Flair with Mystery Tackle Box. Thanks for watching.